wanted to screenshot some of the cringe parts in that article, but all of it was so cringe that it would have required me to screenshot the entire thing. There's so much fucking ads in this thing. It's like, my cell phone almost crashed. Look at this. Ad.
Does this message work with Juan?
Jesus Christ, man. I have to read, like, I don't know, just 2 fucking sentences of this dog shit just to get served an ad. Thanks, Vice. It's really dying, isn't it? There was a couple things that got me pissed off. They say here, VAllure originally made a splash in the VTuber landscape after the company debuted its announcement trailer in December 2023. Finally, a Vtuber agency for lewd voice actors across the English-speaking industry. Yippee! Even I was excited at the time, writing that VAllure offers a really good deal to talents and promises more visibility to lewdtubers across the industry. To be clear, what VAllure offers in theory is great. New and semi-experienced voice actors, adult models, and VTubers are encouraged to apply to the company, along with an agency-created VTuber model and personality. Talent slips into the role they've given and stream on YouTube, along with creating adult ASMR. In early 2024, VAllure seemed like a fantastic opportunity for new talent to spread their wings and soar. But, however, trans VTubers started to have misgivings about VAllure during the Gen 1 edition. See how she's talking about VTubers in general when I am literally plugged into the VTubing community. I have never seen anybody complain. Yeah, I already have a problem with this sentence. However, trans VTubers started to have misgivings about VAllure during the Gen 1 edition process. I didn't see any trans VTubers complain. VAllure's edition requirement said the company only wanted female talent with no additional clarification. Now, one might think that they just didn't allow trans talents to audition, but that's not true. Female can mean a lot of things. It can mean anyone who identifies as a woman. It can also mean someone born with a specific set of genitals. This quickly left trans VTubers confused. Why female instead of women? We figured this was just a minor point in linguistic confusion, and so I thought so too. So a number of us reached out for clarification last year to clear the air, but we never heard back, not in emails, not in tweets, nor with a public statement, nothing. Trans talents quickly feared the worst. Why do you gotta jump to the worst conclusion? Trans women weren't welcome, and VAllure was going to dodge the question by leaving the answer murky. Just to be clear, at that point, VAllure did. I think they addressed that later in the article, so maybe I should just continue reading. But basically, they were okay with trans VTubers, but they just wanted them to be to pass. They wanted them to be, female presenting. But that's not enough for the writer of the article. She wanted more. Now there's this part that's probably the cringiest part of it all. Oh god, not Lolicon VTubers. Time passed, VAllure debuted its Gen 1 models, and Jesus Christ, what the fuck? 1/3 of Gen 1 looks like children. Yes, children. Yes, we heard you the first time. The first and third most popular VTubers in VAllure are Lolicons, or characters made to look like prepubescent girls. The company calls these models Lollipop, although the agency's most popular star, Imibisu, pretty openly goes around calling herself a lolly. How dare she calls herself a lolly? Unforgivable. The loot content stuff isn't even my cup of tea, but I feel like defending them now. Everyone knows Amy and her fellow lollipop star Icy Snowpaws are leaning into Lolicon viewership. One Redditor even said he was thankful for that because there's not a whole lot of lolly VTubers that actually heavily lean into that fetish. The agency has 2 lollies at the moment, and it plans to unveil 2 more lollies for Gen 2. That means 33% of VAllure will be made up of VTubers that appeal to a desire for underage girls.
They mad because people exist.
Yes, but it's just they keep pushing this narrative that lollies are a pipeline to PDFphilia. And yet there's no research or statistics to back that. You don't become a PDF file. You're born one. If not, we would just do shock therapy on them and get the PDF out of them, If it worked like that, there'd be ways to get rid of it. It's a mental illness. To be clear, adults are performing these characters. However, these lolly VTubers are creating explicit sexual content as their character and proudly flaunting it. Imibizu's page has adult ASMR with tags such as jerk off from behind, blowjob cleanup, pussy licking, and ass. Okay, I'm not reading that. I don't want to read these tags. Extract PDF, convert to Excel, exactly. Look, if you're not comfortable with loli show content or lolicon, that's totally fine. Makes you comfortable, you find it gross, fine, whatever. But I don't know why you gotta accuse them of, like, I hate this narrative.
This person was hired less than a week ago to make gaming articles VTW. This is apparently a gaming article. True professionalism and integrity.
Yeah, they're totally just out of touch boomers. I don't care if this person that wrote it is a VTuber, by the way. But why are they a VTuber? If they like everything about the content, if they like if they don't like traditional VTubing, clearly. There's a lot of Hololive girls that are into lolicons that openly talk about it, that openly joke about it. I mean, look, it's either loli content or mega big like badonkas. And it's like, I feel like there's no in between sometimes. It's like you either get the super exaggerated features, and loli is almost like the most normal body type at this point when it comes to loot content. I wish there was like an in between. It's like a normal body type that doesn't have huge bazonkas. Anyway, she keeps on slamming Amy Bizu for a while. She's like, one sexually suggestive image created by an Amy Bizu fan was purposely designed to make her model look particularly underage, writing on Twitter that the image is literally illegal in the EU and can't be viewed.
I swear every time people against this loli stuff, she always view them as tourists or on Twitter white all along.
Yes. Well, she's not on Twitter, actually. She's only on Twitter to promote herself and rage bait now that people are pushing back against the article. She's completely against any kind of feedback or criticism from the community. Don't get me started
on the bubag, we'll never finish the article.
True. You have a point. Yes, she is on Blue Sky now. She went to hide on Blue Sky. Now, I don't think Blue Sky is necessarily a bad platform. Actually, for content creators, external links on Blue Sky work better than on Twitter. Twitter deboosts posts with external links, but Blue Sky doesn't. However, Blue Sky has a lot of other issues that I'm not gonna get into. And I don't really care about the argument that it's like a hug box. Like, whatever, right? I just go on there to post my memes, so that doesn't bother me. But it's such a cowardly thing to do. I'm leaving Twitter. You know where to find me. They always end with a post like that. You know where to find me. Yes, we know, bitch. It's on Blue Sky. One could be 30% quieter. Okay, I'll lower it more. Yeah, no, but like they were active this morning, I think. They were active this morning. You know, just rage baiting and stuff. It's clear they're trying to get some people to look at the article and talk about it. And I guess it's working because we are talking about it. But I'm reading the article now, so you guys don't have to click on it. And if you do, people in my Discord posted like a mirror of it, so we don't give them the ad revenue. Okay, she goes on to say, one sexually suggestive image created by Imi Bizu fan was purposefully designed to... We read that. Twitter reportedly sent the artist a message warning that the content was banned from the platform, the European Union for pornography or sexualized content. Imi responded by saying, I'm just too sexy. Yet she made a joke about it. And what is this? Like, we're gonna throw stones at her? There's no EU-wide ban on lolicon material, however, various European countries have laws that criminalize the sexual depiction of underage characters in artwork. And unfortunately, the EU is less based for that. I really don't think it should matter. When it's fiction, it's fiction. No one's getting hurt. Like, there's such a big divide between pro-fiction people and anti-fiction people. Ohio State University Shari L. Savage argues that the proliferation of eroticized girl imagery and visual culture seen in anime music videos and other popular media outlets further tantalize and at the same time normalize due to numerous available presentations. It's funny how they put so much more emphasis on fiction rather than tackling the fact that every single fucking model that we see in fashion campaigns...
don't say loli in design.
Nobody ever mentioned that we literally use grown-ass adults, some usually in very sensual ways, very sexy ways in campaigns, and these stuff is plastered everywhere. I feel like the double standard here, and I don't even care about that, by the way, Like, youth has always been something that women wanted to achieve. That's why there was literally queens that were drinking gold back in the Renaissance era, because women always wanted to stay young forever. And that's why I'm a VTuber, because I'm eternal that way. But no, everything that we do is for the male gaze, apparently. It's not for us. It's not catered to women at all. Rima Baba, hey, don't start. And they died. Yes, they died of gold poisoning. Do not ingest gold, by the way. Do not try this at home. So, they say images do hold the power to tantalize and move consumers to action. If image did not hold power and influence, and consumers could readily resist advertising, image-laden advertising would not be a billion-dollar industry. Sexual predators have also convinced children that sex with adults is normal, using the images in erotic Lolicon content to say, this is how you practice with adults. Okay, this is disgusting. The mental image and scarring this article just inflicted upon me is it's so disgusting. Now this headline is only missing a lol at the end. Trans girls, I guess you can be a lolly now. A year later, VAllure is now prepping for its Gen 2 audition run, which starts today. Talent are promised the exciting opportunity to voice act in a lewd video game, likely performing as the VTuber models created by the adult agency. Along the way, new talent will likely pop up in video games by the agency's viewers. A twin-stick shooter fan game, The Endless Stream, is already out with the Gen 1 cast. Naturally, VAllure's Gen 1 team decided to host an audition advice stream for their potential Gen 2 sisters. And that's when a second bout of controversy blew up for VAllure over social media. Yes, the second bout of controversy you made. One you made. And I'll just add that I've recently uploaded a video on my Patreon where I did a Corpo VTuber tier list. And I rated VAllure exceptionally high. I put them in the up-and-coming category because their talents have never been in drama. They're farming money, they're doing well financially. What more do you want? But no, we want to tear them down though. On Saturday stream, so you want to be a whore, eh? The VAllure team finally addressed whether trans women can apply to the agency, and the answer is yes. This is what I was talking about earlier. So I guess it's for the Gen 2 thing. However, there are caveats. Maybe. Once again, communication is not VAllure's strong suit. During the stream, okay, but I don't think people realize how freaking busy it is to launch a new wave and how insanely overwhelmed managers get around new debut. They're not gonna go around and answer everybody. During the stream, talent Chibi Kotumban stressed VAllure will accept transgender talent as long as they go by female pronouns, live life as a woman, and sound like a woman, because their agency is based on the premise of female for male. And with VTuber agencies, they share each other's audience. Basically, this girl is gonna get some viewers, and this girl will get some viewers, and they're all going to overlap their viewer base. And that's the main perk of joining a VTuber agency. On top of getting the model, it's about sharing each other's fan base. So you don't want one VTuber that caters to one niche and another VTuber that caters to one niche and there's zero overlap. When you're starting up, and if you're an entrepreneur, and if you have a VTuber agency, you want to start catering to a niche. And then later on, if things go exceptionally well, then you can expand. But I think business strategy is just lost on the author of this article. The Gen 1 team laughed as the issue was discussed. At one point, Chibi said transgender talent asking about the issue should shut the fuck up. Alright, well, I don't know in what context she said that, but I feel like it doesn't sound like her. I'd have to see the stream. Obviously, if it was meant in a derogatory way, that's not great PR. As I mentioned during my own discussion stream over the weekend, the 1-year delay on the topic and the insensitive tone during the advice stream revealed an extreme level and professional toward VAllure's transgender colleagues. 11:28 on the stream, it's a misrepresented quote. Yeah, I was like, this is so not like them. These girls are so nice. I feel like they wouldn't say something like that. For trans talents who considered applying for VAllure during Gen 1, at least prior to the debut of the aforementioned Lolicon model, yeesh. Oh, okay, we gotta circle back on that. We got it the first time. You don't like Lolicons. The lack of communication toward trans VTubers was a clear sign the company was not prepared for the professionalism and maturity required from an adult company. Oh, my bad. I didn't know that the adult industry was the epitome of professionalism and maturity. I think, in fact, VAllure is pretty professional and mature, contrary to a lot of people from that industry. I don't know why we gotta take pot shots in every fucking sentence. It's like jab, 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 jab. Yeah, considering what they do, they're extremely professional. Talking about professionalism when you're not professional at all. Don't get me wrong, it's great VAllure does in fact allow trans women to work with the team. But no, that's not enough for the author. She wants more. But even then, its standards are still strict for trans performers. What does it mean to sound like a woman? Is VAllure willing to accept trans women like myself? Even though I have a feminine voice, I'm often clocked as trans during streams and in ASMR comments. Would I like the right credential to sound like a woman? Well, I don't know. Audition and find out. Okay, look. Vtuber agencies want cute voices. It's like going into a bakery and be like, well, I can't bake bread. It's like, even I, who is a cis woman, I wouldn't be accepted in those agencies. Sister, you just gotta like, get over it. VTuber agencies also don't want me because I don't have a kawaii voice. That's what they want. They want the kawaii voice. In other words, do they want trans talent or do they want trans women who sound specifically like cis women? Trans women who pass for cis women and could, if necessary, hide their gender identity. I think, and this is just a supposition, that they're okay with trans women because obviously they said they would accept them. They want the trans woman to have a feminine allure. They want everybody in the agency to be feminine, to be girly. That doesn't mean that you need to have the right set of genitalias. That just means it's an attitude. It's a way of life. That doesn't mean that they want them to hide their gender identity. You're speculating. Like you're just assuming that. VAllure never clarified these specifics during the stream, essentially putting trans talents right back to square one. How does VAllure really feel about trans women? Honestly, I think a trans woman that does amazing ASMR would probably farm. Like, there's definitely a niche for that, and we know this because there's some talents on OnlyFans that make so much dough just off that niche. There was even like some cisgender women pretending they were like trans to make more money like a few months ago. I think for VAllure, if it's the right fit, they will take it regardless of your sexuality or gender, or I don't know if gender is the right word, but regardless of your sexuality. I may not be using all the right terms here, but I think I'm getting my point across. Okay, the context of the quote. Oi, you! Yeah, you! Hi! If you're not subscribed to my second channel, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So take a moment, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell on. And thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now let's get back into the video.
Looking for female talents. Oh, but what if I'm shh? Shut the fuck up. Talents.
Okay, why? Sorry,
the effort and the
replied in
work
French
to get there. The average monthly income for VAllure talents from the past 3 months, excluding outliers, was around $3,336.
That's really good.
We are looking for female talents. Oh, but what if I'm shh? Shut the fuck up. You go by female pronouns. You live life as a woman. Do you sound like a woman? Okay, we don't care about anything else. You're free to apply, ho.
Guys, wait. This is the total opposite of what the article made it sound. She's basically saying, I don't care about the details. You can be whatever you want as long as you live life as a woman. As long as you're femme presenting, they're okay with you. They were being positive. Wait, this is the most bad faith article and misleading article I have ever read. I have to do your fucking job for you. Do your fact checks. Dude, either the person who wrote this has like an extremely pessimist and negative view on life, that they take everything that everybody says. What do you use? What's the word for when somebody takes what you say and assume the worst possible meaning for it? That's what they're doing. And the amount of ads represents the amount of bad faith they have. Yes, uncharitable. Yes, and bad faith. Okay. Well, has VAllure said anything about that? I hope they're not bothered by this. Yeah, they're disingenuous. Yes. And then, of course, comes the issue of pronouns and transition. Not every woman uses female pronouns. Cis, trans, and non-binary women commonly use pronouns other than she, her, he, him. Lesbians are out there. So are women who use they, them. And what does it mean to live life as a woman? Do you have to socially transition IRL and present as a woman? Do you have to stream with a female presenting model X amount of time? These questions may seem silly and dumb to VAllure performers. See, like, that's not what she wasn't brushing these questions off at all. You wrote 2 paragraphs because you misinterpreted what they said. But there are serious consideration for trans talent running a VA business. Auditions take time. More specifically, they take time away from streaming or ASMR work. Why work hard on something that will lead to an instant rejection? Then, you know what? There's an easy fix for that. Don't apply. What is this? If I apply to any agency, I might not get picked. You have to shoot your shot. Just take a chance. If you're the right fit, they'll take you. That's it. She's overthinking this. Ironically, by addressing the controversy, VAllure has taken 1 step forward but 2 steps back. But I guess trans women can be lollies if they sound feminine enough. If you try hard enough, you might just get a trans-inclusive fan who draws fan art of you that's banned in various European countries. Oh, and there's a ban on lesbian content. The second and more baffling controversy is VAllure's policy on lesbian ASMR, or F4F, female for female content. In short, there's an F4F ban, as the company has specific method focusing on appealing to straight men. When asked whether the company was open to content beyond female from male, VAllure head Strony Cuddle said straight up no. No, and you know what? Because they're a startup, and they went the proven method way, the way that they're sure to make money. They're not gonna start investing and expanding into a niche that they don't believe will make money. And as a private business and a private venture, that is their prerogative. They're not a multi-billionaire company. They can't just switch to like adhere to everybody and every single fetish. Yeah, why doesn't this new small company offset its risk by making content for a niche and proven audience? Bro, most VTuber agencies fail within a year or 2. You trying to sabotage them? Like, I don't get it. VAllure is based on a previous established method that worked fantastically. There you go. You have it in black and white. And I want to ensure the success of anyone who is willing to take the risk or join me under. She has people mouth to feed. She has employees to pay. If one VTuber underperforms, all the others need to carry that financial burden for them. Like, if you have one talent that underperforms in an agency, the talent that is outperforming everybody else is basically offsetting their deficit. Join under the company and share the vision. That is what VAllure is going for, Strony said. So at this point in time, no, it will always be female for male content, and I can't see that changing at this point in time. So let me get this straight. Erotic content of young girls is fine, but lesbian content goes too far. It's not because it goes too far. It's because it won't make money. It's about money. This is particularly strange when you consider the popularity of female for F. Simply put, the genre is not only enjoyed by queer women, but straight men as well. Yeah, okay, I get where she's going. For the same reason that men enjoy watching real-life lesbian, because it's about 2 women having sex. This is doubly the case when it comes to fetish material like bondage, feederism, giantess, and vor, when the premise is more important than the gender of the performers. Also, F4F isn't illegal in various European countries. That's a plus too. But let's stop talking about men for a second here. Content oriented toward queer women is very popular in the ASMR space, thanks to the explosion of F4F and F4A content creators on Reddit. In just 5 years' time, GWA's sister subreddit, GWA Sapphic, gained 1,000. In 5 years, they gained that. That's not great. I post on GWA Sapphic myself, and I can attest to its immense viewership. My most popular audio on the site, a trans girl for cis girl Yandere breeding audio, has 18,000 listens. That makes it more popular than one of Mercy's modest top ASMR audios.
Even if VAllure was against these kinds of tubers, they have every right to stick to the type of ideals they want to do.
Yes.
You don't have to be a part of a corpo to be successful. If you are that upset about it, make your own corpo and run it your way.
No, exactly. I mean, there is a point that there's probably a good niche for it. Just like I think there's probably a really good niche for transgender lewd artists. but does VAllure have to do that? No, they don't have to. It's unreasonable to expect a private company to cater to your own desires and fetish and views. Like, I do agree that Yuri and maybe trans VTubers is a niche to be explored.
The whole article is basically a self-pity rant from someone who has a chip on her trans shoulder, projecting shit like a drive-in theater.
There's a lot of projection. Anyway, I just think it's unreasonable to believe that they should appeal to a wider audience right off the bat. In a company, you share your audience, so I do believe that the niche need to be not too far from each other for them to work together, like, seamlessly. But I also think that, like, if the premise was going into this niche, the lesbian, prawn, and all of that, that should have been part of the business plan from the get-go. It's very obvious that the journal wanted to write an article about their personal unmet demand for queer trans fetish content and force it on VAllure as a subject instead to increase its reach. Yeah. I mean, I just think it's a shame that VAllure is getting blasted because of that. It's really not cool. It's uncool. And I don't know who's the target audience for that, because if it's VTuber fans, you just made a great job at alienating all of them. No one's gonna be sympathetic after reading this. It's so condescending. Even if there was good points, they made such a poor job of explaining them and of communicating them that it's just... And that's without even mentioning all of the bad faith, the quote that was completely out of context and misleading. It's a slanderous article. Game. It's funny that she says, but even though I want the best for the girls piloting, and then in brackets, non-lolly models, so she doesn't want the best for the girls piloting the lolly models though. Only the non-lolly models one get to have a good life. The other one, they can fuck off. They can die in a ditch for all she cares. I can't support what's going on at VAllure in good faith, nor do I think you, dear reader, should apply for Gen 2, even if you want to be in that lewd video game really, really badly, which I won't be playing if there's lolly content. Oh, well, shoot. They just lost their biggest spender. And this article just convinced, like, the 5 people that are gonna read this not to apply at Gen 2. What is VAllure ever gonna do from this? Will they ever recover? Yeah, Dear Reader is doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence. And nothing of value was lost, exactly. This was posted on April 1 as an April Fool joke, but except she went like on a tirade on Twitter earlier today. And yeah, she's only active to reply to Ragebait or whatever. The VAllure situation with Lolicon and advertising to people into underage anime girls is way worse than I thought. This is one of the most chilling things I've seen in the past year. Really, out of all the scandals, the crypto rug pulls, the grooming allegations from several influencers that came out, this is the most chilling things you've seen? It must be really sheltered. VAllure may not be Hololive or whatever, but their role in the EN adult ASMR and lewd tubing space is enormous, and they have a responsibility to serve as ambassadors and role models for our industry. DTL is not a small-time ASMR artist. They're like, VAllure may not be Hololive or whatever, but their role is enormous. Yeah, and Hololive also has an enormous role in the VTubing industry, and guess what? They have lollies. Shockers. They have lollies. And they openly talk about it. This kind of comment really doesn't help, by the way. Yeah, I'll have to agree with her here. This kind of stuff really doesn't make the agency look good. However, like, I don't think it's fair to tie this to the agency either. The talents didn't say this. You don't even know if this person's a fan or watches the talent. Why would I be mad or envious? VAllure is logged into F4M. Even if I wasn't an established / successful F4F VTuber / ASM artist, I still hate to do a job creating content I actively dislike. No matter the money, numbers, fame, etc., F4M is not my thing. And I just mad VAllure does it better. VTubers you. I don't know why they're going in so hard on them. It's so ridiculous. I mean, I hate the tone of the article. It's not written like a real, like a normal, well-adjusted person. It's super condescending. I've said it a million times, but you'll never get your point across with that tone. Never. DTL is Dude That's Lewd, VAllure's creator. Oh, okay. Too emotional. Way too emotional. Yeah, people put up their barriers as soon as you use a condescending tone. Like, if somebody talks to me that way, I'll just shut down. I don't... Even if I agree with them, I don't want to agree with them anymore. They said during the reaction stream watching the VAllure Edition Advice stream that they also applied to be a writer for VAllure. Well, there you go, I guess. I wasn't so far off my assumption of the r/nice guy thing. This is the vibes it gives me, like, oh, you didn't accept me, you rejected me, now I'm gonna tear you down, I'll show you what life without me is like. They applied to be a writer, got denied, so she was okay with Lolly until they denied her, I guess, or she was willing to put up with it. Until now she's not. A scorned journalist. Actually Karen behavior. Yeah, this really does explain the envy part. It's almost like her moral shifts depending on what's convenient for her. It seems like it from the information we got. But I don't know her that well, and I also don't care to. Oh, wait, they're in chat. Is AC Valens them? Do you have any cues? Why did you misquote what the Gen 1 team laughed as the issue was discussed? At one point, Chibi said transgender talent asking about the issue should shut the fuck up. Do you really believe she was trying to be condescending when she said that? Shut the fuck up wasn't on the screen and her tone seems frustrated. That's not how we're reading it at all. I feel like you took the most uncharitable interpretation of that just so it could fit the narrative you're trying to push in your article. On top of that, my other qualm with it is that you say that they've been jumping from controversy or something like that, when they've been like the one small agency that's been drama free. Why would I? I'm a Chibi fan, as I mentioned in the piece. You don't sound like a Chibi fan. And I think we can think of a few reasons why you'd want this to line up with your article. Check my tweets. I've seen your tweets. VAllure fan, post-journalists are subhuman. I feel like the article's necessity speak for itself. VTubing is built on lolicons. I mean, lolicons have been part of traditional VTubing, yes. I've been VTubing since 2020. I have no interest in working for a company with lolly talent thoughts. I never applied as a Gen 1 talent. You're welcome to listen to my ASMR work. In bio, decide if it's based or cringe. I don't see anything about Chibi. You should actually check my prior interactions, like before April 1st. Like it's a tweet before April 1st that you want me to look at. Oh, you meant like just typing up interactions with Chibi? Okay. But if you're such a Chibi fan, why are you writing a hit piece on their agency? I mean, I just don't think me and Anna Valens will come to a consensus on lolly content today, because when it comes to people that are anti-lolly and anti-lolicon, which is like, as I said earlier, pro-fiction against anti-fiction content, there is such a big divide that we're never going to see eye to eye. And I think it's okay if you're uncomfortable with that. But I also think that claiming that it's a pipeline to pedophilia is misinformed. The article feels written from a very personal point of view. And I do agree that, you know, you've brought up some good ideas about F4F and, you know, some transgender lewd content. I think there could be a niche for it. But like I said earlier, I think it's unreasonable to expect that from a startup agency. Do you know how VTuber agencies work? The biggest asset of a VTuber agency, like the biggest reason why you join a VTuber agency is to sort of buy into their ecosystem. And their ecosystem is consisted of building an audience that overlaps with each other. That's why they need to cater to one specific niche. If everybody's catering to different niches, then there won't be the overlap in audience that they're trying to build. And most VTuber agencies fail within 2 years of their foundation. Now, VAllure went with a proven system. It wasn't, you know, they're already taking risks doing lewd content, but they didn't want to get riskier than that. And as a private company, that is their prerogative. Later on, perhaps they could be open to expanding But such is the case for VAllure, the Vtuber agencies that continues to disappoint. That doesn't sound like it was written from a fan perspective. It doesn't even sound like you're a fan of the VTubing community. It sounds like it's written from the perspective that somebody that wants to come into a community and shake everything up and change everything up. I wouldn't even give this real more time if we're hopping on stream. Sounds like she's trying to get in more attention. Yeah. It was such a frustrating read. They want to hop on stream, but I don't even have like a channel dedicated for that, where like nobody else will disturb us. If you want to shoot me a DM, my DMs are open, Anna, and we can schedule a call another day. Okay, I'm live and I'll be addressing anything else on stream. Hop in and I have to finish my stream. I have other topics to cover. What the fuck? We're getting too sidetracked. I'll catch your stream later. What is going on? I was waiting for her to get in a call or something. This is ridiculous. Oh my god. Alright, I got baited hard, guys. Hey, you! Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell button. And I'll see you in the next video.